eGregious games.
Let's try the rest of these choices. These are fun. Fortress Accident SCA.
Silence. No one's home at Fortress
Revachol
Accident.
Ice City.
Silence. No one answers the doorbell.
Whirling in Rags.
Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. They don't want to talk to you.
Let's try it
Nothing
again.
happens after you ring
East
the doorbell.
Delta Pinball.
Silence. No one answers your
And the
call.
mysterious empty card.
This button looks new, but someone has removed the name card.
Nothing happens.
Huh. This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
Okay. None as exciting as the literal fucking ghost. Righty-ho. We have another skill point that we could possibly put into another brain slot here. Let's do it. This whole system is fucking weird. I don't know why these lasers are pointing at particular things. Man, there's a lot of these. Finger pistols. I want to try the motorway south. In our Mind Palace. Maybe we should try the cops again, see if we can report anything now.
Levers, a radio microphone,
This is precinct 5. Just
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
Okay.
Roger that.
Never mind. Nothing to find. I kind of want to ask the pawn shop guy about the lady who took my gun again. Hey, buddy.
Hello, hello. Let me
Let's
know
ask about
if
my
I can
missing
help
gun
with
again.
anything. Sure thing.
Was the buyer a policeman
She
too?
didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit,
Okay.
truth be told.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
She must be one of my rapid
In
fans.
that case, she'll be happy to get a visit from us, if we can find her.
Okay. Any idea where I
My
can find her?
a needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
No, I want some like physical details.
Sure, man.
But there's no conversation option for that. See, this is why I like tabletop RPGs. You're never limited by the options on the screen. This game is very interesting, but it does have a few odd bits where, like, there's a really obvious conversation option that's just not there. Like, I can't report to the cops that we found the murderers, and other little bits and pieces like that. Wonder if the Australian fella is here again. He was only here the once, on the first day. Maybe it's an afternoon, evening thing. Wonder if Sealing's got more to say. Come on, Sealing. Nah. So the obvious choice would be the roundabout again, to speak to the scab leader. Anything more to say, racist lorry driver? No. I should just call him racist. Yeah, let's talk to him and then we'll try to see Edgar.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
That would really fucking get him going, wouldn't it?
Don't think so.
It was on your colonel.
Wordless, he takes the photo and looks at it. Grey eyes dart back and forth on the glossy surface, hard as a stone, but beneath it.
Fucking loincloths. Really did him in.
Can you tell me what the tattoo means?
What it means. I can tell you what this one means. Only one. You want to hear what happened here?
Yeah.
Our colonel is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush. In Benito, 41. Monsoon season. He's on a reconnaissance mission.
Benito is one of the inhabited islands of the Seminese archipelago near the Pale. Covered in jungle, it was anchor point for the Seminese nationalists in the proxy war held on the islanders' territory.
He spent a month behind enemy lines, scouting kept villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes for fun. Men are getting restless. There's talk of switching employers.
With some strange emotion, this is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off.
Hear it.
Our boy, he's only a captain then, but he knows how these men think. If they don't see action soon. At dawn, he comes upon two kips, breeding in the bushes by the river. Or maybe they weren't breeding. Maybe they were just making eyes at each other. I like to think they were breeding. We shot the boy. He was useless, but the girl, she was nice. A little fat, you know, but not too old. She was quite the entertainment for the week she lasted. Expired in the hands of Sarge Mason, the kind of guy who'd make Chief there shit his pants and cry like a bitch.
Fuck.
God. Mason couldn't let go. Cut the tits off her cold body and fucking ate them. Said primitive spirits were watching over him now. Drowned in a creek a week later. Spirits my ass.
Something stirs in your stomach.
You were there?
No. I was in the domain. In Jamrock. Being a bouncer.
Can I have it back?
Go ahead. All right now. Free commerce! Keep the goods flowing!
On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them, littering his dead skin.
Are you a mercenary hired by Wild Pines?
Free flow of commerce!
Don't talk to him any longer. Just leave, please.
Is there a tribunal being convened by any chance?
Fucking bug.
I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it won't be long until it's ready.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
Okay.
The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right-to-work dance. It's hard to do that when you want to beat a man into a pulp instead.
Okay. He doesn't like us. Not many people do.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Okay, that's fine. Oh, it's open. Could have sworn it was closed last time after I came out. I had to talk to what's his face again. God, I kind of want to talk to him again now. I don't want to get my fucking face knocked off, but we'll do that after we speak to Edgar. That's the button. LB highlights shit. Oh, hey. Neat office shades. I don't think I need those. It's a current jacket. Current jacket is good. 2 bonuses rather than just 1. Did we check this out?
On second glance, someone...
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside, hundreds of documents containing logistical data. 2 kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting?
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
Come on.
Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You're like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not focusing. Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes. Less meaningful, but aesthetically more pleasing.
Could I actually focus through not focusing?
You are a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and not letting go.
If I let my eyes go completely out of focus, all shapes start melting into each other.
Is that what you're doing with those photos over there?
Yeah.
Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mystery.
Oh.
You're trying hard,
Fuck.
but the data here is unbelievably dry. Something about containers. The drawer slides shut smoothly.
God damn it! But that reminds me. I haven't had a second look at the at my own files yet, and I think I should. Delve deeper.
It's the
time.
ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board. With the permeable
Where's the case files again?
petty theft, spousal of... You don't
Done inspecting these.
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
The Next World mural.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couron. Cause of failure, rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Will I ever find out who came up with it?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
Keep the mural, it is right.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority. And that love truly is possible in the next world. for new people, and it is too late for us.
All that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class.
In any case, it appears to have been a rare case of civil activity in the quarter, and agreement as well. What do you want to tackle next?
The unsolvable case.
AKA Leslie and Burke, AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Proceed.
Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Property damage.
No, that's Burke. Leslie's shtick is flashing his genitals, remember? How will you ever solve the unsolvable case if you can't even get that straight? Well, turns out it's pretty simple. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have confused it with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're also drunk. Drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke.
He really loves his work.
Kill them. They broke it. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
Let's try the square bullet hole murder. This is better than any Dick novel. Dick, what's his
It
name?
would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, All you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
A sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? One day you may still catch the man with the square gun.
Interesting. The couch in an unexpected location.
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
They looked really cool, like a rock band.
Yes, as you said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to where they also took photos of themselves on it. And smoked cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to
Did I ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
Murder at the hookah parlor.
Murder. Tum-tum-tum at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Ow.
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Okay, on with the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his
Was Joseph
brains,
Mills a good
running
cop?
with every theory. No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he took. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day. Yeah, so anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in
Perfect
there.
Health, some kind of movie
no
producer?
one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the
Then at
hookah.
3:45, he's
until
dead on floor with his
15:45.
skull busted open,
Then
blood
bam.
everywhere.
Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy,
Okay.
really sharp edge. See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
Must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
What was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script,
Okay,
maybe. Not
that's
much
enough
has
of that.
changed in the
What are the
meanwhile.
yellow
But
papers?
in the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A
Misconduct
monetary
fine.
penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. So, but they appear pleasantly vague.
This is good. I can use these. Station call.
These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
Field autopsy.
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs, color of the irises, predation marks, condition of sexual organs.
Enough of these.
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms,
Yeah.
and the rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
The clipboard.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on
Shake
its
the
way.
ledger.
Something rattles inside. Ever permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged. The
Let's have a
plastic
look.
shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it
How do
is
I open
not.
it?
With your hands, U4 sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the board.
Lonesome long way home. Maybe let's do that in a bit. Okay, that's a permanent thing. Smell the
The
ledger.
acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint
There must
air
be
of
something
spoiled
good in the
meat,
hidden
the
compartment.
stuff of death itself.
If
And
we
then
were willing to
sprinkled
beat
liberally
someone
with the citrus zest of
into
toilet
submission because they might have broken it.
cleaner.
Really want this one.
The
Yes.
two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee
Maybe a ring.
slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Slide the drawer open.
without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
Pick up the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it first.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
Open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
Keep reading.
Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Reading.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector. A streetcar distancing. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on.
Hold on.
To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything all right?
Or sideways. I knew the ledger was something that we didn't want to like look into just then. What?
There is nothing.
What?
Again.
What? Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout. Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who is that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
No, I was cool. I am cool.
The cool when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Is that the X something? The...
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
There was something about a bow collector, too.
Yeah, man. What was that about?
Enough.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
Drink.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
Actually, beer and cider have loads of water in them.
You know, in the Franco-Nigerian centuries, The quality of water was so bad it was sometimes more hygienic to drink beer.
But these are not the Franco-Nigerian centuries. We are in the present. It is safe to sometimes drink water here.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
I should ask you the same.
You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
How long was I out?
10 minutes, maybe.
Came in contact with the burnt out ruins of my past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Yeah.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool
You can put
equipped
it
in
in
the
your hand
held
and beat
slot
people
for
with
skill
it.
bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Some kind of superstar.
What
They
is
say
that
the world
image?
isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity worship. They claim to know it would be dangerous for detectives to rise to the ranks of demigods and have sexual encounters with barely legal cover girls. It would be insane, they say. To all this, you say, fuck off and die, in a cool voice. You people have no idea how good these cops are gonna get. They're gonna crack 20 cases a day. In the future, cops will be like astrophysicists, or prime ministers, or prophets. And you're the first one.
I can afford to lose a bit of logic. If only it raised volition up, that would be something. Maybe none of that is particularly good, though. It's not really a good trade for the -1 logic. Well, we made our bed, and now we have to die in it. Hey, we got some health back from our little nap. What time is it? Evening. So we didn't lose that much time. Hopefully Edgar's still there. Ugh. Come on. Now I kind of want to inspect the ledger again. What's the Inland Empire again? Gut feelings, but -1 to authority. I mean, it can't go lower than 1, right? Can it go to 0? Oh, it can. It can go to -1. Maybe I don't want to equip that then. I do like having a bit of authority sometimes. So we can still interact with it. I don't want to talk to this guy again, because as you can know from watching this playthrough, I like to push my luck. And I love it when there's real consequences, like in this game.
Do not presume this has drastically altered our race dynamic.
I knocked you out like a god of martial arts.
True. I said nothing about our personal dynamic. That has altered. A little.
Why are you not with the Hardy Boys?
I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading.
So you're different.
You pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act. This is unlike him. He is usually more himself.
But you're all part of the union.
The Hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the union alone. And I do this out of race heroism.
Race
Finance
heroism.
is an alien concept to the Seminoles. Now leave me be. I must luxuriate in the company of my woman.
There's more to it. What have you got against them?
Fine. They have recently fallen under the influence of a possibly sexually perverted female vagrant and a narcotics peddler. It's shameful.
A possibly sexually perverted female vagrant. Maybe the lady who has our gun.
Find out for yourself. Endomorphic blub.
Fuck off.
Interesting.
I'm sure we could get information out of him by subscribing to his advanced race theory, but then we would have to subscribe to his advanced race theory. And we're not that dumb. There's what, 10 minutes left in this part? I could talk to Edgar, and I probably wouldn't get through that whole conversation. Or I could inspect the ledger some more. But let's at least, you know, walk a little bit. Maybe our Scottish friend is still there. Ende's having a very chill evening, just chilling on his log. What is that? Is that something I can inspect from here? Doesn't seem it. There's ways down, you know? There's things that can be done.
This is the night watchman's booth.
So this is where Rene
If you
works.
must. But nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse
framed
contents.
photograph.
It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a
Why did you take that picture of René?
I'm gonna ask him about it.
You're really interested in that old soldier. Not sure.
Okay. And maybe I even will. The other route, did that head somewhere else? Did we take this route before? Seems we can't go down there.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not
Let's
lessened
persuade
since
the
you were
door
last
to
there.
open.
If anything, and as it's
Not this
always
time.
been.
Got new things. We could sell it. Be a prick. It's 121 real, and I really need that real. Wonder what happens if we just cannot afford to pay the rent. Do we have to like stop? Is it just over? Ooh. Farm gear. It's decent. Don't think I need the electrochemistry anymore. But half-light could be of use. Hey fella, you asleep or what?
Hey mister, I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back.
I had some questions for you.
No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that.
Okay. Nothing new to hear. If I inspect the ledger again, will I pass out again? Wonder why we broke up with our wife. She seemed to really love us. What happened there? What happened? There's got to be a way to open these goddamn menus. I'm just trying all the buttons on the controller. Okay, you just open one menu, then you RT, LT through it. I really need a copy of the city map. Alright, let's inspect the ledger, shall we? Is that Edgar? Yeah, we've got 5 minutes left of this half, so I'm just gonna inspect the ledger, and then we will resume and finally talk to Edgar.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, without resistance or sound.
Okay, that's
slightly,
maybe not.
Ever so slightly. Difficult to breathe once you've done so. The drawer is locked. Blue ink drips from the white pages in your hand. Your hand shakes. You're flushed with adrenaline.
Okay. I'm gonna take a break then, and we will come back in 5 minutes and we will talk to this Edgar fella. Stay right there.